Hello, this is the Formatting Advisor with the Graduate School. This video is intended to be a detailed instructional video for those that maybe need a bit more help with Word or with the formatting process in general, or for those who'd just rather watch a video to learn about it. If you have some skills in Word or are feeling a bit more confident, you can watch our other tutorials, which give quicker overviews of how to use the templates and other tasks. This video is really focused on Word, so if you're using LaTeX or another software, it won't really be that helpful. This video goes over getting started, filling in your front matter, filling in the body text, and filling in the back matter. You can skip to a certain part of the video that you need more help with. Okay, we're going to start at the beginning. Go to the ETD webpage, which is montana.edu/ETD. This is the ETD webpage, and it has 5 main pages. We have our home page here with an overview of the process. We have our formatting page, which has information on formatting, this submission page here, and this short approval page. We also have the FAQs you can go to on the side. We have a general FAQ and a formatting FAQ, which can hopefully answer a lot of your how-to questions, such as how to format page numbers or how to format a landscape page. So here on the formatting page, we're going to download 2 documents. First, we're going to download the sample pages, so you have those on hand. The sample pages tell you what kind of formatting requirements I'm looking for. Be sure to review it periodically. Then download one of the templates, depending on which kind of degree you're getting. I just downloaded the master's template here. Now, the word you have may differ depending on the version or the operating system that you use. So I apologize if it's not exactly as you see it in the video. You can get an updated version of Word from UIT if you like. Okay, we will fill in the front matter first. Fill in your title using the inverted pyramid shape, which means your top line is the longest and the bottom line is the shortest. Then fill in your full name, including your full middle name. Fill in your appropriate degree. And finally, fill in the date with your ETD deadline month. This may differ from the month you defend or the month that you're graduating. On the copyright page, fill in your full name again and enter the year. Okay, so the dedication, acknowledgments, Vita, and American Indian Heritage pages are all optional, but you should put them on their own separate pages if you want to have them. Let's make a dedication page and an acknowledgement page. We'll just delete all this. This will be our dedication page, which is single-spaced. Now, if you don't know how to use a page break to start a new page, this tip will be a lifesaver. So instead of hitting enter a bunch of times to get to a new page, go to the Layout tab, choose Break, and choose Page Breaks. This will start a fresh page that won't jump around if you adjust the spacing on previous pages. So here we'll type acknowledgments in all caps. Make it centered here. And acknowledgments are double spaced. Next, we come to the table of contents. Most people do these manually instead of creating an automatic table of contents. It's up to you on what you'd like to do. If you do it manually, you might want to save updating the page numbers until near the end, because your page numbers are inevitably going to jump around. So to avoid the most common formatting mistakes I see with the table of contents, be sure to have this blank line of space right here above and below the chapter titles. Be sure that these other lines here are single spaced, not multiple spaced or set to anything larger than that. Be sure to wrap the text 3/4 of the way to the page number, about right here. This is so that the titles don't crowd the page numbers. We'll just paste in here a fake heading, so it runs into the page numbers here. So we're just going to go in front of one of these words, hit enter, and make sure that the spacing on the left lines up there. Also, instead of hitting the space bar to line it up, I could also go to view and show the ruler and move this little guy until it lines up there. And finally, if your table of contents spans more than one page, be sure to write Table of Contents Continued at the top of the other pages. For your list of figures and tables, it is similar to the table of contents. Match up the spacing with the template and be sure to wrap the text 3/4 of the way to the page number and write List of Tables or Figures Continued at the top of subsequent pages. Scrolling down, the glossary or nomenclature page is optional, but the abstract page is required. Be sure that it's less than 350 words and single-spaced. Okay, now we get to the meat of your ETD. First, highlight everything and delete it up to the references page. And you want to enter a page break here to start a fresh page. So go to Layout Breaks and hit Page Break. So our page 1 is nice and clean. Now before we start writing, let's talk about some word basics. Let's just paste in some fake text here. So for a lot of your formatting adjustments, you can right-click in a paragraph or highlight multiple paragraphs and right-click it and choose Paragraph. You can do a lot of your formatting adjustments in here. So your line spacing will most often be set to double. Occasionally it will be set to single. Shouldn't be set to anything else. The default before and after should be set to 0 points. This can be adjusted to either 12 or 24 points to create extra spacing when necessary. We'll talk about that in a little bit. To get paragraph indents, you can use the special first line indent. And to get that spacing, that's often used for reference lists with the first line longer and everything else indented. You can use the special hanging indent. So here we'll just do the first line for right now for our paragraphs. So this paragraph option can also be found on the Home tab with this little button. You can go to Line Spacing Options. Okay, so in this template, I've also set the styles for you. The styles are found in the Home tab as well. You can apply styles to certain lines and it will do the formatting for you. So for example, we'll just put the first level heading formatting on this line here and it becomes a first level heading. Using styles will also make your document more accessible by use of screen readers. And we ask that you do your best to make your document more accessible and you can read about it under the formatting page of our website here. Okay, let's get back to our document. So let's go ahead and delete all this. So you've probably been working on your document somewhere else. So go to your document or program and copy and paste it into the template. So we're going to copy all of these. We're going to paste it in and we're going to try and match the text as close as possible. This can sometimes get a little tricky. I find it's good to go to this paste options and seeing what works best. Often it's merge formatting. I think that usually does pretty well. But if you have text and it's not quite the same, you can always do it manually. You can highlight all of the text here and just apply this normal formatting. Let me see where I put it. I think it's right there. It does get rid of your paragraph indent, so you might want to right-click it, choose Paragraph, go to Special, and click First Line, and that will bring back paragraph indents. It does re-indent your headings though. Just be aware that if you just hit Center and there's a tab of space in front of a heading, it will throw off the centering. So just keep an eye out for that in case you do that. Another way to match the text is just to do it manually. You can set the font to Times New Roman, size 12, and then make sure that the paragraph spacing is 2.0 and that it does not say remove space before or after paragraph. And if it does, you can click it just so it just says add space. You don't want to have any extra space. Now we will fix our headings. So for chapter titles, you can highlight the line and apply the chapter title heading. Now it does have to be in all caps, so you can go over here and find the case change button, or just retype it, it's up to you. So we do need to make the chapter title in the inverted pyramid shape again, so if we had a longer introduction, and we wanted it to go into 2 lines, we would use Shift Enter instead of just hitting Enter. If you just hit Enter, you can see that it messes up the formatting and there's too much space. So Shift Enter if you want to make multiple lines. So go through and find the headings and apply the most appropriate heading style. So this one is obviously a first level heading because I called it first level heading. So I highlighted it, I found the style called first level, and I applied it. And as you can see, there is a triple space above and below it. Triple space is 2 blank lines of space. So 2 blank single lines of space. To learn more about what a double and triple space is, you can see our FAQ. I made a video on it, and hopefully it's helpful if you find this very confusing, because a lot of people do. So we'll scroll down and we'll find our second level heading. Say this one is a second level heading. We'll just click on it and it will do the formatting for us. It'll have the triple space above it and the regular double space below it, which is what we're looking for. Here's another first level heading. Here's another second level heading. So for third level headings, they're a little bit different because the text has to be on the same line with the heading. There's 2 ways to do this depending on if you're on Mac or on a Windows computer. If you're on a Windows computer, you can highlight the heading, choose third level heading, then place your cursor at the end of the heading and click Control plus Alt plus Enter, and it will bring that text up to that line. If you don't do that and you just hit backspace, it's going to get real weird. On Mac, you kind of have to do it an opposite way. Let's go back here. You have to indent the line here, so they should be indented, and then you have to bring the text up, and then you highlight just the third level heading, and then you apply it. Sometimes that works on Windows too, but often it messes up on older versions. So just mess with it. If you have any questions, you can ask about it. There is also a style heading for captions that are above and below figures. We'll move this down so you can kind of see what it does. So this caption is below the figure, so we're going to highlight it and we're going to go up here and we're going to find caption below, and we're going to click on it, and it's going to create that triple space between the body of the text and the figure caption, which is what we're looking for. We also have a style for you for if you have a long quote. So let's just say that this was a long quote. We would highlight it. They also call these block quotes. We go and find the long quote, and it justifies the text and brings the indent in on both sides and adds the spacing above and below just like that. So once you've applied some styles, I recommend going into the View tab and showing the navigation pane here on the left, and you can see what these styles did for your document. They created these handy little bookmarks, which should hopefully help you with your own organization and the writing of your thesis or dissertation too. And once you convert this to a PDF, it will also create bookmarks that screen readers can easily organize and read through, which is why we use these heading styles. Also for the fact that it cuts down on a lot of your work in formatting these headings. I wanted to mention the manuscript option too, which you can find information here on the left-hand side or through the formatting page. This gives you a little bit of leeway on the formatting. This is if you're going to publish a chapter or have already published or submitted a chapter to a journal. You can use this manuscript formatting option. With this, you can either continue with the graduate school's standard formatting, or you can follow the specific journal's formatting as requested by the publisher, or you can include PDFs of the article in your document. Be sure to note that if you do add PDFs, that the page margins and page numbers still have to be consistent with the rest of the document. You'll also need to add these contribution of authors and co-authors pages and this manuscript information page too at the start of the chapters, and please note that these pages are also listed in the table of contents. So we have some other things to think about with our document. If you have a large figure or table, remember that everything has to fit within these margins, and the margins are 1.5 inches on the left and then 1 inch everywhere else. They may have to insert a landscape page if you just can't fit everything in your table. To find out more about that, you can go to our FAQ and find the landscape page question, and there's a page of information. The margins at the top are 1.5. It's like if you push the paper over, the page numbers are on the right hand side too. I also wanted to mention that there are some other accessibility tasks that you can do. For example, you can find all your figures, you can right click them and click Edit Alt Text and write a short description of what the figure is, so that way the screen readers can describe what the figure is instead of it just being kind of a mystery. And you can see our accessibility page for more information on other tasks that you can do, like these. And here we have the editing alt text and heading styles. So that should be a majority of what you need to know for the body of your thesis or your dissertation. Lastly, you'll get to the back matter of your document. This is the references and appendices. Even if you have a reference list at the end of each chapter, you're still going to need a cumulative reference cited list at the end of the document. Now these divider pages can get a little confusing in the back matter, so I recommend following along with the sample pages you downloaded earlier. Okay, so if you have an appendix, then create this references cited divider page where it just says references cited in the middle of the page, and that's it. Then you'll start your references at the top of the next page. If you don't have an appendices, you can just have reference cited at the top of this page and then just start your references following that heading. Now, if you're going to have more than one appendix, you'll need this appendices divider page where it just says appendices in the middle of the page. And then you add this appendix A, B, etc. divider pages for each specific appendix. Nothing else goes on these pages, so you'd start your appendix on this page. If you only have a singular appendix, you don't have to do this page that says appendices, you just need this one page that says Appendix A with the appendix title on it. And that's the end of the document. Thank you for watching. I hope that helped. Please email gradformatting@montana.edu with any questions or with a draft to review. Thank you so much.